Hi there, it's Floyd from Protocol. I'm here with Ray Boza. He's the manager of Generic Engineering and a user of the EnviroPaste, a stainless steel product for pickling and passivating. And he's got a couple of large jobs. Ray, maybe you can explain what you're working on.
Yeah, these are wastewater treatment tanks that we are building for one of our clients. And they're all 316 stainless steel. And we've done a lot of...
Maybe I'll just go over to the tank.
Yeah,
what he's talking about. And this tank here hasn't been sprayed yet, right?
No, this one hasn't been cleaned yet. We still need, prior to applying the acid, we will be degreasing it. We take it outside and degrease it to remove any surface oils or contaminants. And then we will bring it into our shed and then proceed to spray it with the EnviroPaste. And we generally leave it overnight. You can leave it on for even just only a couple of hours, but we prefer to leave it overnight, let it do the work. So then the next day we can bring it outside and just pressure wash and hose off all the paste and all the contaminants and dirt.
Ray, the one tank next to it is one that you've completed. This has been pickled and passivated with the EnviroPaste, and you can actually see the significant difference between that one and the one that's unfinished. And so, Ray, explain why you're doing the whole tank.
Well, we just find it far more efficient to do the entire tank because it's in contact with water in the interior of the tank. We need to ensure that all the surfaces are clean and corrosion resistant. Not only just the inside where it's in contact, but more especially the outside as well too, because of chemicals, the atmosphere, the moisture will cause corrosion to occur on the outside of the tank as well, especially in any of the areas where they've experienced heat due to the welding and or manufacturing, cutting. That will create areas where the corrosion will begin to propagate and easily cause structural damage to the structure if it's not properly cleaned.
And you can actually see the significant difference. This is the outside of the tank, and they do. So we're going to do another video showing the sprayability, and Ray will walk us through that one when they move the item into the shop. This is another tank on the inside we just videotaped, and Ray, explain all the areas of concern if we don't treat this.
Well, we want to cover the entire surface because in a lot of areas, which I explained earlier, where any metal has contacted it or scratches that have occurred, you can see how there's iron embedded in the scratch and it starts to corrode.
You can see that.
Especially when it's been in contact with water. I mean, we do a good wet spray is a good way of testing the surface to see if there's any iron contamination.
Right.
Is you hose it down, entirely wet it,
let
it sit for several hours or overnight preferably.
To see where the iron is.
And you will see the iron, the rust bloom occurring on the surface.
On the surface. So this tank will be the one that will be sprayed. And these gentlemen right now are just cleaning the oil and grease. And
they're removing any metal marker that's on it, and fellow at the end, he's in the process of degreasing it to ensure that we have good contact between the metal and the EnviroPaste.
Perfect.
So you have adequate cleaning.
This one will be going into the shop, and we'll be doing another video of the sprayability. And what we're doing now, this is Ray Boza from Generic Engineering, and Ray's going to explain what they're doing here. We're spraying the inside of a waste treatment plant right there where it's going to. And the safety gear he's got on, he's got some air going through because he's spraying on the inside. He's got the mask. And then Ray, he's putting the mask on over top. It's just extra safety. And he put together this 5-gallon pressure pot thing, and he's put extra hoses. Maybe you can explain why.
Yeah, this is a Lemmer 5-gallon stainless steel pressure pot that we put together so that originally we started using a smaller pressure pot, which only held about 2 liters of product in it. But for our larger tanks, we wanted to cut down on the refilling time. So by going to the 5-gallon pressure pot, we're able to put on a longer hose, which we've upgraded to a 1-inch line for feeding the product, so that he gets a faster flow rate and is able to spray a larger area.
And the air pressures, or you were saying around 45 psi?
The feed pressure is about 45 psi, and the air atomization pressure, I think he's probably got it at about 80 psi.
80 psi.
But then he adjusts the amount of air at the gun. It gives him a little bit of flexibility to produce the proper spray pattern that he's looking for, whether he's spraying a wide surface area, or if he wants to narrow the fan width down to just concentrate on specific weld areas.
Right.
In this case, we are going to be coating the entire tank.
The entire tank. I've asked him if he could just spray and show how it, if you're just doing the welded areas rather than spraying the whole tank, how this works so quick and so fast. So he's going to... Okay, here we go. This is using the spray method versus using the brush-on method. You can see how fast and how even that comes on. Just going to adjust the air. Sometimes the air. Just got to adjust the fan. Getting good coverage. You wouldn't be able to brush this on for this whole tank. So this whole tank, Ray, how long will you leave this on before you...
We prefer to leave it on at least overnight. In this instance, because it's the weekend, we can safely leave it on throughout the weekend and come back after the weekend and wash off the product. You know, with using pressure washers, we use pressure washers to clean the surface.
So the beauty of this product is it's got no hazmat symbols on the SDS. It will not eat and consume the metal. It's going to pickle and passivate this entire tank. You can see how he's doing this. Getting good coverage. Very good. And he'll be moving over to here. So this entire tank will be pickled and passivated. And he's already done one inside, which we so we got the before and we have the after. And Ray, just a second on touching on the cleaning method first, which is really important what you do.
Yeah, it's very critical prior to applying the protocol cleaner. You need to go through, and what we always do is use some thinner, remove any paint pen marks, felt pen marks, if there's any stickers, adhesives left over from stickers, and then that's followed up by using a good quality degreaser to remove any of the surface oils and lubricants or film that's on the material. There's always a bit of residue left from, you know, the metalworking processes on the material. If you don't remove that, those oils will act as a barrier and prevent the heat tint remover from contacting the actual material and removing any free iron contaminants. You know, you can think of that oil film as like a protective barrier, kind of holding the iron underneath it. So it's very critical to strip that off.
Yes, and I guess that's in compliance with the ASTM 380-967. Well, you can see the size of this tank, and he's already almost completed one whole section there. So I think that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Ray. And it's generic engineering out of Pit Metals, I believe, right? Or Maple Maple Ridge, British Columbia.
You've actually got it set fairly narrow, but then this allows him to get a greater reach, greater distance.
You can see he's narrowed it down so he can get the top of his tank, and his tank is probably, how high is it?
It's 10 feet.
10 feet, so he doesn't need a ladder, he can just use the gun. And you can see he's just doing the welded zone. He's got a very even pattern on that. And he's almost completed this whole thing in less than 5 minutes so far. And he can get all the areas easily. You can see now he's going to do the top of the tank. Very good. Excellent. This is on the inside after the product's been applied, sprayed and washed as per what Ray was talking about. And you can see the difference. Every area has been cleaned up. All the welded zones have been pickled and passivated. He's done 2 tanks. Significant difference. And Ray, will you be doing these items also?
Pardon me?
Will you be doing these items also?
Yes, these are other little tanks for another client of ours. We will be cleaning these as well.
Thank you. We'll